I rise today in support of House Bill 1114, and it's been a long time coming, but it's a moment in time that we cannot acknowledge. I do want to thank the members of the Public Health Subcommittee. Specifically, I want to thank Representative Butch Paris, who I've, in the last at least 4 years that we've been talking about it and moving things forward. Also, obviously, I want to thank Representative Carolyn Hughley because she was sort of like our point person to kind of connect the Women's Caucus, the Black Caucus, and all of the folks that were committed to it. There's been a lot of work done in this area, and many of you have helped us along the way. I could not speak in favor of a bill because it's a lot of things. In other words, don't steal my title, but there's a lot of times there's something called the backstory. There's a lot of backstory on this particular legislation. And sometimes you have to do what you have to do because you know something is so important. So when I came back in 2012 and I heard that black women was dying 3 to 4 times more than any other race, I knew that it was an epidemic. I mean, it seemed like an epidemic in my mind. And so immediately when I came back into the General Assembly, I've been here 3 separate times, and I must admit one time I was in the Democratic Caucus meeting and I was listening to see what the freshmen need to do. And people said to me, "Oh, you already know, you've been around." I said, "Well, maybe some new stuff, I better check it out." And then Al Williams said, "Yes, she's been here 3 separate times. I hope she gets it right this time." So I think I got it right this time. Thank you, Al, for that. But I just want to thank Renita Shannon, who had House Bill 693, which was a bill that, that she allowed me to sign on as the second signature, that basically talked about postpartum care being going from 2 months to a year. And so she was a pioneer as far as putting that legislation out. A lot of people in the room have galvanized around her and with her to keep pushing. And then there was a study committee that Darshawn Kendricks was asked by me, who I was asked by Karen Bennett, to go ahead and put a study committee in to deal with this issue. And there was not a hearing given. But when I found out from Park Cannon that there was House Resolution 589, I went to the hearing. And I was allowed to be able to speak at that hearing. And at that hearing, it was 5 members of the committee, and I asked as an amendment that I be allowed to add to the bill, make it 7 members, and there'd be 2 African-American women legislators, and the committee honored that. And the committee came together, and the recommendations that they came back with coalesced with 2 additional study committees, one dealing with infants and toddlers, and I think it was the Mortality Data Review Committee as well. There was all these 3 study committees this summer that asked that we move from 2 months to a year. Okay. So we didn't, as of right now, because all things are possible, but as of right now, we have moved the ball down the court. We're at the 50-yard line because we had 6 months and we need a year. So I think that we have a good team of people here, and I think that the team here can move us to the touchdown and move us to where we need to go so that black women don't die at childbirth at this level. But I would also have to thank the members of that committee. I would have to thank Sharon Cooper for her leadership. I would have to thank Deborah Silcox and Darlene Taylor and Valencia Stovall and Mark, Dr. Newton. I would have to thank, who else I miss on that committee? Oh, Representative Chuck Extraction. I like that name. So I want to thank those people I know. Don Hogan. Don Hogan, you the man. All right, Don Hogan. But all I'm saying now is there was a lot of people. I even went to the Democratic caucus, and for a while, the Democratic caucus was shaking their head to me too. And I was like, stop shaking y'all head. We got to get something done on this bill. So we are here today. We got something done on the bill. I think that all of you made your contributions. I can't call everybody's name, but I know one time I did come up and thank people. And when I got back, sit down, they say you named everybody else. Why you didn't thank me? So for all those I did not thank, it was not because I don't want to thank you. It's I don't want to go too deep in thanking you, and people be mad at me for didn't thank. Because I know Wes Carroll that sits back there with me, he want me to thank him for something. See, all right, thank you. So anyway, I just want to thank this body for moving this ball down the court and moving it down the football field and moving it down the court. And we got 6 months, and we hope and if the Senate wants to put it in to a year, don't be mad at them. And when they send it back for us to agree, we wanted us to agree to what the Senate put in, if they can take it to a year. So I'm not giving up on a year, but I am thankful for 6 months, and it will make an impact in the state of Georgia for women. Thank you, and I yield the well. See.
You had a question, if you care to yield. There's a groundswell of support.
I yield, Mr. Speaker.
You yield the well, or
no? I yield to that question if they got one for me.
Well, now you've gotten 3 or 4.
Okay. I'm not going to take more than 5 because that's the number of grace.
Chair recognizes Representative Bennett to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentle lady yield?
Yes.
Is it not true that because of all the passion, compassion, and the hard work of the able Mable Thomas, that we were able to make this issue of maternal mortality rise to be first and foremost in all of our agendas?
I'm sure the gentle lady knows from which she speaks.
Thank you.
Do you further yield?
Yes, sir. Yes, I do.
He's going to take that back now if you don't, if you stay up there. Chair recognizes Representative Bentley to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentle lady yield?
Yes, I do.
Is it not true that this rural Georgia legislator have been fond of you for many, many years when I first met you with Representative Tyrone Brooks down in Savannah, Georgia?
Yes.
Is it not further true that this bill will not impact the funeral industry at all?
And actually, it will. We wanted to stop. We want to slow the funeral industry up on this one. Give it on now. Okay, I yield the will, Mr. Speaker.
I never had that much fun in the well.